नमस्कार दोस्तों, मैं हूं मानव सिन्हा और आप देख रहे हैं एक ऐसा टीवी शो जहां पर आपकी सभी ऑटोमोटिव नीड्स को फुलफिल किया जाता है बिकॉज दिस इज द टाइम्स ड्राइव शो। हर हफ्ते की तरह इस बार भी हम लेकर आए हैं एक्शन पैक्ड स्टोरीज। जल्दी से नजर डालते हैं क्या आने वाला है आपकी ओर ओवर द नेक्स्ट हाफ एन आवर। We'll start off with a very special conversation with Kausalya from Vida by Hero. We'll find out what's going on behind the scenes of a young brand that's spearheading the electric mobility space in the Indian market. Join in for this special conversation in this episode. इतना ही नहीं, साथ ही में आपको लेकर चलेंगे इंडिया के F1 रेस ट्रैक पर, जहां पर हमने चलाई है होंडा की नई ZR-V. We'll find out whether this almost 50 lakh rupee SUV makes sense for the Indian car buyer. तो जैसा कि आपने देखा, काफी कुछ आने वाला है आपकी ओर और आज हमारे साथ है the Mercedes-Benz C-Class. This is part of our long-term test fleet and we will bring you a thorough ownership review of this car very soon. But for now, it's time to get into a special conversation with Vida by Hero MotoCorp. Take a look at how it went.
It's no secret that India is going through an electric revolution, and one of the key players at the forefront of this is Vida, powered by Hero. And to get into this conversation and understanding where the electric vehicle segment is today, I've got someone really special joining me on the Time Strike podcast. Kausalya, thank you so much for giving your time to us and welcome to the Time Strike podcast.
Thanks, Manav, for having us, and it's real fun to be here.
Vida, it won't be wrong to say it's a young brand.
Yeah.
How do you see the journey? Because it's been one of success. So how do you see it panning out up until this point?
So I wasn't in the group then, but in 2022, when our executive chairman, Dr. Pawan Munjal, unveiled Vida. Vida, by the way, means life in Spanish. A lot of people ask me, what does it mean? Yeah. And he kind of talked a little bit on what Vida symbolizes, right? He said that it basically epitomizes the future of mobility. It's about creating this whole element of innovation, transformation, intrinsically electric in its very being, which will help move what the future of mobility looks like. So it was a new dawn. It was a new awakening in that sense for Hero. And most importantly, the legacy of trust that our chairman emeritus, Dr. Brijmohan Lal Munjal, whose birth anniversary we celebrated on the 1st of July, he epitomized. And we said, this is Vida. You know, we always talk about Vida as powered by Hero. That's how our brand logo was.
Yep.
And we kept thinking, how do we create an identity, a new mark that actually visually depicts this amazing combination of legacy with a bold new statement. And it was the internal team that actually came up with our new brand mark. So proud as a peach.
And congratulations to you for that.
Yeah, thank you so much. And we are so proud because it's so much meaningful when the whole team kind of got together and created something like this. So it is Vida's birth that kind of gave that.
Wow.
So what color kind of symbolizes that? It was orange. Because orange in itself is the color of life. And therefore, it has this beautiful balance.
And life is Vida.
Life is Vida.
Yeah.
Vida is life. So we kind of brought this combination together. The team brought it together and it just clicked. And every time you look at the new word mark, and we're a little obsessed with it right now, it's everywhere. We realize that for each person, it means something. But it always has meant moving forward. So last year in EICMA, we actually showcased, I would say, Vida's ambition. So I think in EICMA, and it was my first EICMA, so it was quite an adventure, I think, to learn about it because we do a lot of auto shows, but EICMA is special from the point of view that the passion that the people bring there for riding, the deep appreciation that they have for technology, the vision that they come with, that they want to be blown away by OEMs, right? I think it's remarkable how Hero and Vida have kind of elevated that stand, and now we are next to none in the world. We talked a little bit about the Vida VX2 and the energy ecosystem that we're creating. The Vida VX2, of course, is domestic bestseller, but we have ambitions for that product to also go into relevant markets globally. The fact that we are just not invested in the product, we're also invested in the ecosystem. So we showcased our charging ecosystem. We're also one of the few players who really has a strong removable battery solution, which is required both in India and globally. The second was again a marquee statement because we have a technical collaboration with Zero Motorcycles USA, who that technology platform was for a higher performance motorcycle.
Correct.
So we codenamed it VXZ, a little play from our side on Vida collaborating with Zero, and we showcased the concept there. Then we realized that there's a world of off-roading. There's a world of experiential riding which is getting unlocked with electric. You know, we come from Dakar legacy. We're a Dakar winning company. We recently celebrated the 10th anniversary of Hero MotoCorp and in CIT Jaipur. And the idea was, how do you bring that legacy, that DNA of great rally bikes into electric? So we talked about our experiential off-roading range, which is the Dirty. It's a play on dirt bikes. And we said, what do we bring under Dirty? So we officially launched our young riders off-roading e-vehicle called Dirty K3. It's a red dot design winning product. Fundamentally, the vehicle grows with you. So as a young rider, you can start at a much younger age, but as you grow taller, it adjusts with you. And then we said, what's on like the cusp of mobility, right? It's always nice to say your future of mobility, but what does it really mean for Vida? And we actually showcased Vida Novus. Novus is our, I would say, our innovation frontier, where we looked at what human beings need in terms of mobility and then built a form factor around it and not any other way around. So we showcased 3 concepts, the next one, the next 2, and the next 3. And the next one is this really amazing personal mobility device, I would say, which folds into a backpack. So it's for this awkward last mile. So it's like a little jiffy ride-in. But the cool thing is it actually folds into a backpack which you can carry with you. The second was next to. Again, we realized that fundamentally people like to carry their world with them, the power of being on a motorcycle. So I think that was a insight into next to. So it's a self-balancing trike format, very, very beautifully designed and conceptualized. And the third was, I dare say, the biggest challenge for us, which is take the footprint of a two-wheeler, but give us the balance and the protection of a four-wheeler. So next 3 was born from trying to, again, take 2 form factors in the best of both worlds. So again, 3 very powerful concepts under Novus.
So clearly Vida is expanding into a lot of horizons. One of them I really want to touch upon is your association with sports. I mean, hero and sports go hand in hand. I remember seeing the Vida on the KKR jersey, but you also had a very in-depth collaboration. I mean, it goes beyond the jersey. So could you share about that?
I would say wanting to do sports in a form that suits our brand values, which is a little bit more contemporary. And of course, no form of sports in India is more contemporary in that sense than IPL, right? It brings the best of 2 worlds. It's the love for cricket that we have as a nation, but it's also the added masala of the entertainment, of how the form factor is. It's a very engaging form factor. While I would say that it's amazing to have the Vida brand on their jerseys, and I'll talk a little bit more, I think fundamentally, again, the meeting of minds. So KKR as a brand actually is a national brand. While they are, of course, a sports team from the East and they have a lot of fan following there, you'll find fan following for KKR across the country. East, by the way, is also the dominant market share for Vida today. So we are number 1 in a few states there. So that's, of course, a natural correlation. And we said that's one brand that thinks how they could integrate sports into culture and how they could integrate sports into everyday activities in fabric, right? So we said, okay, amazing combination, because here's KKR and here's Vida, and we have to come together. And we really, really ideologically hit it off with that team as well. And then we said, of course, there's jersey branding, right? That you are the title sponsor, you're right there on the jersey. I would have to say, we almost took over Kolkata. I mean, you walked into Kolkata and it was KKR everywhere and Vida everywhere. Biggest cheerleaders first our own employees. They love Vida. They are Vida. So we did a lot of activities that engaged our own teams, from going to watch matches, to box cricket, to a lot of competitions, to jersey winning elements, etc. So we were purple and gold across. The second big partner in our on our success has been our dealers. So again, we've integrated KKR with every one of our touch points. There's rebranding that's happened at the showrooms, there's been giveaways, but they've been a part of this journey. kind of integrating them into everything. And then the larger community at large. So of course we did beautiful kind of, I would say, above the line advertising, below the line advertising, but we want to also integrate into meaningful things. So we said every time Kolkata Knight Riders hits a six, we will install a public fast charger.
Oh, wow.
And we installed 111, which was really cool.
Wow.
And they could, we wish next season they hit even more. Right?
What a fantastic motivator as well.
Exactly. So 111, and we said, okay, this is just the journey, because again, our commitment to the ecosystem, you know, with them. We also had this amazing anthem called Vida Vaka Voom, in which we did a hook step, which now people can relate was actually the Vida's new logo, which was coming on board. It was the last step on our anthem, again launched with KKR.
Wow.
And the privilege of hearing that at Eden Gardens before the matches begin, again, awesome, goosebump moment. And of course, there are lots of numbers, Manav. The number of impressions we reached, which was crossing 1.5 billion, etc. But those numbers to me and the team here meant so much more, because now in every kind of conversation, Vida is right up there. Whether customers are looking at an electric mobility, customers are looking at a brand that kind of has technology and the familiarity of a scooter, all of it, we have become center and mainstream. And it's also, of course, helped that EVs overall have now become a mainstream conversation. So massive fun, massive fun, lots of learning. Learning on that advertising or branding is very less about just moments on television or moments on digital. It's about how subconsciously that story starts resonating.
How one person recollects the brand.
I think the team always wants these kind of collaborations, no half measures, no just doing something tactical. We'll have to do what we have to do to make the awareness where it is, but deep associations that mean something for the brand, that would be our focus.
That's fantastic. I think it's been a great conversation today. One of the things, if I may share, what I've realized is that the energy is really palpable. I mean, I can sense it once I'm here in the office, right at the entrance, and we'll put some shots of that. There's a scooter that's parked and it's scratched. So I was like, what's... Usually a brand won't put a scratched scooter, but then I realized that was a scooter that was going all over the country during IPL. And of course, during that journey, it had some stories and scars on it, and you've maintained it, and it's right there when you enter the Vida office. You can see it on your screen. So just to bring it to a close, how would you sum up Vida's next 5 years in a sentence?
Vida will bring the future of mobility to India and the world.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Very powerful statement. Thank you so much, Kausalya, for your time today.
Thank you so much, Manav, for having us.
It was a great conversation and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
इसी के साथ वक्त हो चला है एक छोटे से ब्रेक का टाइम्स ड्राइव शो पे, बट बने रहिए हमारे साथ बिकॉज वंस वी आर बैक we'll take you for a drive in the Honda ZR-V. वेलकम बैक, मैं हूं मानव सिन्हा, आप देख रहे हैं द टाइम्स ड्राइव शो और आज हमारे साथ है द Mercedes-Benz C-Class, which is one of the most definitive luxury sedans in the Indian market. However, if we talk about sedans, then there's hardly anything as popular as the one from Honda. जी हाँ, मैं बात कर रहा हूँ होंडा सिटी की। अब ये ब्रांड होंडा सिटी जैसी गाड़ियों के लिए जरूर जाना जाता है, लेकिन अब they're trying something new for the Indian market. They've decided to bring in the Honda ZR-V, which has been launched in the Indian market at almost 50 lakh rupees. Just what's going on with that car? Well, I took it to the racetrack to find out more. Today, on Times Drive, I am bringing the Honda ZR-V. Let's start from the front. Now, no connected light setup over here, no large chrome band between the headlamps, not even a dual light setup up here at the front. This is as conventional as it gets when it comes to designing a car. You have two slim headlights which get a smoked out treatment. You have this large grille right here in the middle which also gets gloss black treatment, and you have another gloss black element down here in the bumper. And the simple design
can be seen from the sides as well. There's hardly anything happening over here. If at all, you can talk about the 18-inch alloy wheels, which too get a very simple design. We do get to see blacked out treatment on the B pillar and the C pillar as well, and we get conventionally designed door handles too, and that is something that I like much more than flush door handles. And coming to the back, once again we see smoked out treatment to the lights and a very simple design language at the back as well. If at all, if there's any contrast coming to the car, it's from this contrast accent between the dual exhaust tips of the car. And yes, if you haven't noticed, there's no plastic body cladding at all across the car, which of course gives it a very different look. बूट स्पेस की बात कर लेते हैं. इलेक्ट्रिकली ऑपरेटेड बूट लिड हमें यहाँ देखने को मिलता है, which can activate the gesture as well. All you have to do is place your foot under the bumper for a second and the boot lid will open automatically for you. Once it does, you will see that you have a decent amount of space on offer. Airport runs, weekend getaways will not be a problem. And if you want, you can fold down all the seats for more space as well. I do want to talk about the key and a very interesting thing that you can see right here. You see this number 1 on the key. अब इसका क्या फंडा है? Well, Honda ने ZR-V में आपको मेमोरी सीट्स दी हैं. ऑफ कोर्स इलेक्ट्रिकली ऑपरेटेड सीट्स आपको यहाँ देखने को मिलती है. मेमोरी फंक्शन के साथ 2 प्रोफाइल में आप अपनी सीट एडजस्ट कर सकते हैं. Here's the thing though, ये गाड़ी आती भी 2 चाबियों के साथ है, but both of the keys have a small number written on them, 1 and 2. अब बात करते हैं Honda ZR-V के interiors की, and the first thing that I would like to talk about is just how everything has been put together. The fit and finish, the quality of materials used. This may look like hard plastic, but this is actually soft touch. Everything in this cabin actually gives off a very premium vibe. This actually feels like a global Honda car that's made its way to the Indian market. Of course, you get this digital infotainment system up here, which is a better experience than some of the latest Honda cars which have made its way to the Indian market. Touch response is fine, although the design feels a little bit dated. Coming to the all-digital instrument cluster, once again, very easy to read. I really like how this setup feels like. Very easy to read, gives you all the information at a glance. And if you want, you can change the design of the instrument cluster as well. You can have a round design or you can have a bar-type design in the instrument cluster, both of which I find very helpful. I, of course, get this round steering wheel, which is very nice to hold. And I really like how this honeycomb pattern on the dash feels like, which neatly integrates the aircon vents up here at the front as well. The highlight for me though has to be the dials. They have a very nice tactile feedback, very nice clicky sound to them, and of course dials are always better. The physical controls are always better for HVAC than touch-based systems. What will have a lot of people talking in this car is of course the layout of the buttons right here. There's no conventional gear lever over here to select drive. What you get instead are a lot of buttons. You get a button for park, a different style button to engage reverse, then you get buttons for neutral and drive as well. Underneath that, we also get to see your drive mode selector, which is a toggle type switch, a hill descent control button, and an electronic parking brake as well. And in terms of practicality, you also get a large underarm storage up here at the front. All in all, it's a very comfortable place to be in. I really like how everything is put together, and I think this actually makes you feel like you are seated in a premium Honda. Coming to the rear seat experience, I've set the driver's seat as per my height. For reference, I'm 5'10", and you can see I have lots of knee room on offer. Even the headroom is decent, but what I do want to talk about is that you end up feeling like you're seated a bit knees up. The under thigh support could have been better. You do get a drop-down armrest over here with a couple of cup holders, 3 adjustable headrests at the back. You get 2 USB-C ports for charging your devices. Of course, you get a rear AC vent. Well, now let's talk about what you get under the hood. And the engine is, of course, only a part of the story, क्योंकि ZR-V में हमें एक हाइब्रिड पावर ट्रेन देखने को मिलता है, जिसका मतलब है इंजन के साथ साथ एक प्रोपल्शन मोटर और बैटरी पैक भी हमें इस गाड़ी में देखने को मिलता है. Combined maximum power that this system generates is 184 PS and 315 Newton meters of torque. And here's the interesting bit: 315 Newton meters is available from a standstill, and this peak torque is available up until 2000 RPM, which should give this car a unique character to drive. And now we come to the exciting bit. We come to drive the car at the Buddh International Circuit. इस गाड़ी में कुछ यूनिक होंडा ने ऐसा किया है कि अगर ये कार चाहे, using all of its methodologies, the science and its brain, it can decide whether the wheels have to be powered by the engine or the propulsion motor from the EV part of the hybrid drivetrain. I thought that when the shift happens from the engine to the battery system, there will be a bit of a noticeable change in the response that the car is giving to the driver. Thankfully though, that is not the case. Honda says that most of the driving conditions that you will experience in this car will be akin to an EV car. Of course, they're going for a low cost of running with that kind of a drivetrain. But if you're concerned about noticing the changes in the system adapting to different power sources, well, at least that I can tell you here at the track is something that you would hardly notice.
And now we've come to the summary of the video. The fit and finish is fantastic. Nowhere does it feel like the car has been built to a cost. And Honda के चलते आपको एक बहुत अच्छा peace of mind इस गाड़ी के साथ भी देखने को मिलेगा. प्राइस की बात करते हैं. शूटिंग करने के टाइम हमें इस गाड़ी का प्राइस नहीं पता है. This will be something that may not be to everyone's liking in terms of price, but at least it's very heartening to see Honda bring a new product to the Indian market, to step into a new territory with the ZR-V. We can only wait and see how this car performs. The first impressions in a very controlled driving situation is positive. And with that, we've come to the end of this edition of the Times Drive Show. उम्मीद है आपको हमारा शो पसंद आया होगा. अगर कुछ कहना चाहते हैं, कुछ बताना चाहते हैं या हमारी टीम के साथ जुड़ना चाहते हैं तो टाइम्स ड्राइव के सोशल मीडिया हैंडल्स पर हमें रीच आउट जरूर करें. And if you're planning to buy a new car, a new motorcycle, a new scooter, or perhaps something like the Mercedes-Benz C-Class, make sure you visit timesdrive.in to catch all the necessary information to make an informed purchase. With that, I take your leave for this week. I'll catch you same time next week, only on the Times Drive Show.